All right, I don't see anyone else coming in. So if we want to go ahead and get started, I'll just let you have it, Erica.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, and just first of all, I have been sick, so I'm sorry if my voice is like cutting in and out a little bit. We're gonna try to do this. Um, so yes, please excuse me on that end. But so when you all log into your REDCap, you'll come to the My Projects page, and you'll have fewer things than mine, hopefully. So you should currently just have this one, the Recovery Ecosystem Services. And um, I will be discontinuing that one. And we will be working in this new one called Recovery Ecosystem Data Tracking. So, and I may not have added you to the project if I didn't know who you are. So, so sorry. So if I didn't know who you are or which organization you're with, I didn't add you to be able to see it. So, if you do not have access to the project, just shoot me a message or an email with which organization you are with, and then I will get you added. Perfect. Yeah. And just like the whatever username you are using and organization, that would be great. So I will try to make this project live this afternoon. So the in development thing will be gone and it will just say recovery ecosystem data tracking. And that's the one that you'll be using. So when you click on there, it'll probably look a little bit different than mine because it's still in like designer mode. I'm still working on it. So the main things that you all need to worry about are on the left-hand side, there's the data collection with the record status dashboard and the add edit record. So those are like the two main things that you're going to be using. You may at some point also use down here in the reports section. I have tried to create a report for each organization. So we'll go into that a little bit later, but you may also access those. So really, it's just going to be the data collection and then the reports that you're using. So for data collection, and in this project, per request, you all wanted, if a client had been seen before, you want their record to exist and you can just add to it so you don't have to, repeatedly enter the same information about them. So if you go into the record status dashboard, it looks like this. It's currently alphabetized, so you can look someone up by their ID number or what their ID number should be. So I think I created a test one. Let me just find that. So it is a lot. So test 1, 2, this is just the one that I made earlier today. And so the first time that you use this project, you'll notice that this dot here is red. And that is just going to remind you, like, before you enter another record for that person, you probably want to go into that to check that their demographics are correct. So for test 1, 2, all I have to do is just click on that red dot and it will take me into their basic demographic information, right? So here's our participant ID formula, which you'll enter in the participant ID, the county. If you want to enter the zip code, so like, this person didn't have it previously, but if I wanted to add it, I can. I can add, ethnicity or change anything I need to change, drugs of choice, methods of use. And obviously, things like the participant ID and the county are required because otherwise, we wouldn't really have anything to go off of. But, some of the other things are not necessarily required. So then what you want to do is at the bottom where it says complete, you're just going to change this to complete. And then you can save and exit. And this will take you back to this person test 1, 2. So this is all of their records. So they have their demographics and then they have one visit entered. And it looks like, so they were at Instill Mindfulness on August 1st. So if you wanted to look and see what they did there, you could. But if you just wanted to add, like what they did today, you would just click add new. And that will take you to this form, which you'll put, the date of service if you saw them today. Select your organization. I'm just going to do Instill because theirs is very simple. Was it a referral or linkage from another agency? If you know that, you can put it. If not, leave it blank or put unknown. Same time with first. Is this the first time they're receiving services with your organization? You could say yes or no, whatever. And then, so based on your organization that you select up here, it will change the options that pop up down here. So if you are in an organization and select something and there's nothing there, it's just because I didn't know what services you offer or you want to keep track of. So if you happen to select your organization and nothing really comes up, just reach out to me and then we can work out, what exactly you want to be tracking. So just for example, again, I'll go to the health department because we have a lot of things. And so as you make selections, additional options will pop up. So like if we gave a vaccine, all the different types of vaccines pop up. Family planning, asks about counseling for family planning and sexual health, birth control, all that good stuff. Again, like as I make selections, different things will pop up. So you can just select all the services that they use with you. Then towards the end, we have the referrals and linkages. So if you provided a referral or a linkage to another organization, and this one is, a required value. So just select that. So you want to select yes, no, or unknown. If you do select yes, it will open up, and Anna and I worked on this. So if you don't like the way this is set up, like we can talk about that to make it easier. But we thought it would be easier to go with the type of linkage first. So, if you are referring them for substance use treatment and you select that, again, some more specific information will pop up on the right-hand side. Same thing like for social services and basic needs, additional options will pop up that you can select. I think those are the only two that have something additional. The others is just as is. And then you can select which organization if you know. So like if I was referring someone to shelter and MAT, the health department doesn't do that. So I know like the community health center does MAT, and I know community action does a lot of housing. So, if that's where I referred them to, I would just select those. Looks good. And again, down here with this, you just want to make sure that you change it to complete when you're done and then save and exit. And it will like pop up. See, yeah. So it will tell you if a field was required and you missed it. So services were provided as part of. Oh, that's what I was missing. Okay. So just try again. And then it goes back to that test 1 to all of their information. So now they have this second visit here that has appeared. And yeah, you can just add additional as many as you need to for that. So that is editing an existing record. So like if you have a client, you want to go to the record status dashboard, look up what you think their ID would be to see if they already exist. Again, the first time this button will still be red. So you can go in there, make sure it's correct, and then, change that to complete and save it. Then you can add your visit information. So that is editing an existing one. Of course, if you want to add a new one, you can do it from here, this green button to add a new record, or you can go directly to add or edit records. And then on this page, you can also check to see if the record exists. So instead of scrolling through like alphabetically, you can come to add edit records, and you're going to want to select from the field to search, you're going to want to select the participant ID, right? And then, so if I were looking for the test 1, 2, that would come up. So I'd see, oh, okay, they do exist, and it will take me right to their demographic information. But if they didn't exist, like that would be my ID number, and it doesn't, it doesn't exist. So then I would just go up here to add a new record. And then again, it takes you to this sort of landing page for the record. And then you'll just click on the buttons, the bubbles, to go in and fill out the information. Say not. And then change to complete. And then from this point, you can either go save and exit or save and go to the next form, either one. It will take you then to the next form, the visit information or the services that they received that day. And then you would fill that out. So do you guys have any questions on editing or creating these records? Okay, cool. If you do, just speak up. So the other thing that I just want to go over really quickly is your reports. So like I said, each organization should have a report, and those reports will just contain visits or services provided by your organization. So if I went into the health department one, it will only pull up the ID numbers and the visit information for records that the health department entered. And then like if I wanted to export that, if I want to look at this in Excel or something like that, you can just go up here to the button. You all should have this button. If you don't, let me know, because it's just a permission thing that I have to change. But you should have it when I add you. So you'll just click that. And I would recommend when you're exporting it to do it the second one with the labels. The raw data just has a lot of like the code names basically. So the labels will make more sense for you to do. So I would recommend that one. And then this will pop up and you'll just click on the little icon over here. It will download. And then you can open that up. And if you need any help like determining what you're looking at with this, just reach out and we can figure out for your organization specifically like what you want to look at there. Whoops, that's not. So yeah, that is that, pretty simple. If you don't want to export it, you can also just scroll to like see information. I do have a live filter in place at the top. So if you wanted to see like, are we making referrals to other organizations? So I want to see just the ones that, yes, we referred them somewhere else. And so, that would then be these. If I want the details about that, I would just scroll over towards the end because that's where all that stuff is. So this column where they provided referrals, and then I can see, organizations. Okay, and yeah, Justine, so I basically, if I didn't know your username or the organization that you work with, I didn't add people to the project yet. So I will add you today because I know your username, I'm assuming, is just Justine.Purdue. And um, so I can add you after this so that you'll have access to it. Um, so that's anyone who doesn't have access to the project, just shoot me a message or an email with your username and your organization, and I will get you added to that.
Erica, I have a question. Is there a way, can every organization see data from other organizations? Like, is there a way to be able to see that and still referred somebody to NRVCS, and then we can see at NRVCS they did indeed come there for a service?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So with this on the back end, having, one record with the demographics just entered one time, everyone will have access to the records because, otherwise we would have duplicates all over the place. So everyone needs to be able to see, like what other people are entering. So yes, you
Okay,
will be
cool.
able to see that. Yeah.
Anybody else have questions for Erica? And I guess I also wanted to just point out that this was the what used to be the individual REDCap survey. This is what it's replacing, is that link to the individual REDCap survey. There's still the aggregate survey link that also is required by OAA to be filled out. Well, or the data to be recorded in some way. There's a REDCap or we can do it via like a Google sheet as well. But can you show that one as well, Erica?
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, so I know the individual one right now you all can access via just like a link and it's a survey. And like I said, after today, that will no longer be working. And this one will be the active one. And so you will have to log in to enter the individual records. And again, that's just because if we want it all to be linked, like one person, so we're not repeatedly entering demographic information every time, this was the way that we had to do that. But then, okay, so the aggregate one, I don't have the link memorized, so I'm just going to copy it. Yep. So this is the aggregate one Anna was talking about. This one will still be available via the link. So then, like if I had an event on Saturday, again, you select your organization and then you select the type of efforts. And this form was created based on the OAA, like, you know, the performance metric form that we all got at the beginning. So that's how this was formulated. So, if you did something with prevention education, pregnant nursing women, children, etc., you would just choose which box, and then again, additional options will open up here. So, and like Anna said, it's aggregate. So for engagement, just individuals engaged, we could just put like 50. Trained and revive, 12. Um, so that's how you would just fill that out to document those things. And again, that correlates like directly with the OAA metrics that we all got. So does that make sense, Anna? Is there anything else you wanted to cover with this one?
No, not really. I just wanted to show it and to reiterate that this one will still be active. It still works only via that link, and it is required. Like this is the data that we have to report back to OAA quarterly. So we just want to make sure we're putting this data in addition to if the individual data. So if you record someone on the individual form, that number still has to go into this aggregate form. Any questions on that? Okay. I guess if there's no questions, thank you, Erica. Appreciate you going through this for everyone. And